when the truth gets twisted. The streets listen.
When you're trying to build something for black children, you realize quickly that everybody says they want progress until it's time to do the work. They'll cheer the idea. They'll paint the words on walls, hang them from ceilings, carve them into floors. But doing the work, that takes heart.
Almost there.
Copy. We're bringing the frame boards inside.
Level looks good up here. Gonna set the screws next.
All right, watch the wires above you. Place for the planks is clear. Room's colder than the hallway, though.
Feels like the whole building's holding its breath. Let's get it done before it exhales.
The receipt show returns.
It's slick tonight. Good thing I'm wearing the quiet shoes. The city never sleeps. Just hides things in the puddles. Huh. That's my signal. They want the truth? I'm on my way.
Pull up, team! Assemble!
We don't run, we pull up. Where it all comes together. Every receipt, every message, every dollar. Each one a point on the line. Watch how they connect. Follow the money and the picture clears. And at the end of the trail, that's the truth.
Receipt pulled. Breaking it down. Evidence loaded. Now we know. Let's pull up, team.
They love to talk. I move on proof. Show me the receipts. The squad behind me, fact check everything. No cap, just facts. Pull up.
Time to clear the air.
Your truth is just a race.
And listen close. We got the receipts.
That won't save you.
Truth versus deception. And we don't lose.
Team, time to end this. Truth stream pop!
Being locked.
Let's shut him down. Take this! He's freaking apart! Receipts don't lie.
Numbers tell one story. A seat like this tells another. It's not just gold and weight. It's decisions. Every word counts up here.
Your receipt leaves a mark. Every document has a fingerprint. Follow the numbers long enough and the story writes itself. The trail doesn't lie.
Stay tight.
Fire! Launch it!
Pull up, team! The city's ours tonight! Look at him roar! Let me go, baby! Victory!
Bar just hit 100. Hold steady. Here comes the truth.
Truth incoming.
Clearing up. Step in.
Identity confirmed.
That's our guy. We pull the curtain tonight.
Hustling.
Bank trail locked. Receipts flagged.
Here we go.
The breakdown begins. Corruption sequence initiated. Not today.
Right, truth data form.
Counterattack now! Pull up, team, go! Feel the truth!
Truth counterattack activated. Last receipt. Truth over everything. Case closed. Truth wins.
Peace, peace. It's your boy KKC, and we're back. Like your right shoulder blade, we never left. Shout out to the pull-up team and everybody that's in the chat right now. You are tuned into another episode of the Receipt Show with your boy KKC as we get ready to talk about Umar Johnson's blaming black contractors for FDMG delays. 2026 update exposed. So make sure you hit that like button, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more content and join the pull-up team. So if you haven't heard already, Umar Johnson did an interview on a Georgia podcast. And in this interview, he went down the line of why FDMG has been taking so long to open. Tonight, we are going to get into the receipts of what Umar Johnson is talking about, the contractors he's blaming, and we're going to listen to audio that a lot of people never heard before. And it's audio from individuals that worked at St. Paul's College. At the time, Umar Johnson stated that he submitted a bid to get St. Paul's College. He never submitted the bid. But there's also other details that you guys need to hear, just so that you can answer the question that we have placed into the chat. What was the biggest lie Umar told during the interview? What interview are we currently speaking of? Well, let's go ahead and pull that information up. And if you haven't already, please hit that like button because you are tuned in to the Receipt Show with your boy, KKC.
Catch her on a beat.
Trying to get the renovations together. Hit the Cash App, $ FDMG School. Hit the Cash App, $ FDMG School. Hit the Cash.
You know, we saw this kind of rumored around, and we wanted to get your thoughts on it. So critics say, obviously, you raised millions for your school, and after some time, about a decade or so, the school hasn't been up. So they want to know, what's the 2026 update on FDMG Academy?
First of all, anything a critic says about FDMG, I would like to know where they get their information from. Nobody knows how much money we raised because we never shared it.
Well, that's kind of where we have to start our journey, because it is easy for Umar to say that they never shared the financials. However, that information is public because the information that you did share with the IRS, that information has been made public. So we can start with our good friend Pocket Watching with JT here on YouTube. I do not have the video queued up, but you are able to type in Umar Johnson's IRS records or Umar Johnson's tax records, and it will show you all the information when it comes to FDMG's tax filings. Now, a quick Google search of FDMG taxes may get you what you are looking for. Now, when you type in FDMG taxes, it will take you to this website right here, in which you are able to look at any of the tax filings you want. You have the 2024 tax filings. You have the 2023 tax filings. You have the 2022 tax filings. You have the 2021 tax filings, and you have the 2020 tax filings. All you would have to do is click the button that says view filing. View filing of each year, 22, view filing, the 990. Now understand that the information that was shared where Umar Johnson did not have the tax exemption status because he did not file the correct 990 forms, that information is readily available. So when Umar Johnson asked the question, you know, where do we get our information from? We get it directly from the public institutions that provide these records, since Umar Johnson fails to do so himself. So again, if you would like to get the full breakdown of the tax filings, you can look at JT Pocket Watching with JT here on YouTube, or you can go to Google and type in FDMG taxes, and it will pull up the each year tax filing. All right, let's run this back. Here we go.
Money we raised because we never shared.
They never shared it, and they're giving away money in an iPhone. Shout out to them. And I want to make sure you guys can hear, so make sure you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the audio. Put a 2 in the chat if you cannot.
It's so tight that nobody in the public could know anything unless we share it with them. The only people we share information with are our donors. The big problem with the so-called FDMG controversy is the people asking the questions are not the donors. The donors don't ask questions.
It doesn't matter if we are donors. It doesn't matter if we are not donors. Because you are a 501c3, you have to share the information. You have to share it. It doesn't matter if we invest or not. Let's continue.
We have their complete faith, complete support. 85% of our donors are repeat donors, which means they've been supporting us since the fundraiser began. The people who want answers are people who have no vested interest at all in the project. So I don't answer questions to people who don't have any vested interest in the project. You follow what I'm saying? I don't go around offering answers to people who don't have anything to do with what I'm working on, because this is a private Black community initiative. We don't owe them no answers. We don't take any federal money. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the problem, because they want us to be accountable to YouTube. They want us to be accountable to Instagram. They want us to be accountable to the struggle streams. I'm not accountable to nobody but our donors. So when donors have a question, they can call me and ask. And I know if they're a donor or not, because we've recorded every donation we've ever gotten, every one.
The reason why that's a load of crap, it's not because they've recorded every donation they ever got. It's because Umar Johnson has said himself publicly that he doesn't answer the phone. So please don't call him. So when you say that you can just call him and ask him, Doc, how much or what's going on with FDMG, and I know because how much you donated, because we keep every record, that's BS within itself. How can you tell me to call you when you tell me don't call you because I'm not going to answer the phone? Let's continue though.
You follow? So if you call say, Doc, I wanted to ask you a question about the school. Sure. What's your name? When was your last donation? How did you make that donation? Let me confirm you. And you can ask all the questions you want. But if you're just a struggle streamer, you're just looking for content so you can just run with some negativity, I'm not giving you no answers. With that being said, let me clarify a couple of things about FDMG. The fundraising began on April the 12th of 2014 in St. Louis. Originally, we wanted to purchase the HBCU St. Paul's College in Lawrenceville, Southern Virginia.
It's very interesting that Umar Johnson brings St. Paul's College up. Now, I can, of course, play the St. Paul's College clip. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard that clip several times. And, it's very, very interesting. But I would rather play some audio that I think you guys need to take a listen to. When it comes to this audio, this comes from individuals that worked at St. Paul's College. And they have an untold story of Umar Johnson and the school that he's telling people that he tried to get. In this audio that you're about to hear, you will understand that Umar Johnson never submitted the bid for St. Paul's. And when the individuals were reaching out to him so that they can make it happen, he never got back in contact with them at all. Once the bid went through and everything got situated, Umar Johnson circles the wagon, and then he wants to talk and see what he can do. But hey, I want to make sure that in this interview, Umar Johnson has the opportunity to get on the panel to answer to these claims. The problem is, once he realized what was going on and who was on the panel, he left. He never even got on the panel. So I'm going to make sure that you guys can hear the audio. Again, place a 1 in the chat if you can hear the audio. Here we go.
Used to be cool on Facebook, and we was all about the movement and trying to start movements and doing stuff. But what we get to find out, family, is that these people who worked in the school wanted to team up with Umar. They wanted to team up with Umar, but Umar wasn't interested. He wanted to go solo. So once Umar got to the conversation now, what happened, family? I texted him and said, hey, come on, man. You got these people talking about the school. Would you like to come on? And boom, he came on and said, Umar is here. And then y'all gonna see what happened after Umar found out. So it's gonna be like a 2-hour show, probably a little bit more. But let's check it out, family. And it's gonna be it's gonna get rocky. But check it out. All right. This is I used to do our relationship Fridays, but we didn't do the relationship Fridays. We did. Hold on, let me try to get it started right. All right, so here we go.
Now, we're not going to listen, of course, to the whole 2 hours, but we are going to listen to about the first 15 minutes or so. So again, please place a 1 in the chat if you can hear, place a 2 if you cannot. Here we go.
Sister Azalea, pardon me while I introduce our first guest of the day. Let me try to get this in order and get this done orderly here. I have Sister Cheryl Wilson Sprinkle on, and I'm going to bring her on first to let her speak. And I also have on hold Betty Boston. So I'm going to punch both of them in and just say good afternoon, good evening. I don't know which part of the country you guys are from. I'm not familiar with the 434 area code, but welcome to It's Real Talk Radio. And I'd love for you guys to basically just introduce yourselves and explain to me what you guys are trying to do and put the information out. So I'll start with Ms. Sprinkle. You can go ahead first, ma'am.
It's evening here. It's a little bit after 6 o'clock. So hello, everyone. My name is Cheryl Ann Wilson Sprinkle, and I'm the president and owner of a company called Caring Arms Will Support, or CAWS, CAWS, for short. Over the last few years, we have run a nonprofit organization where we provide education and training mainly to seniors, individuals who are seniors 55 years older, or pre-seniors who are people who are 45 years or older. And we are for seniors so that they can continue to learn without having the stress of actually going to a school, but they can learn whatever they want to learn. We've been doing this for a number of years, and we are located in Brunswick County, Virginia, in the town of Lawrenceville, on a former college campus that closed June of 2012, and the name of that college is St. Paul's College. St. Paul's College has been open for over 125 years. It was founded by an Episcopal priest, Bishop Solomon Russell, and it was a historical Black college, which closed in June. It graduated its last class in June. In April, it went up for auction. At that time, the auction consisted of the college campus with multiple historic buildings, a new student center, and a 434 plus acre farm. During that auction, they were able to auction off the farm, which has since been wooded. So they've taken off all of the hardwood off of the property, and they also auctioned off there's a daycare center. It was a unique part of St. Paul's College in that they had a single family daycare center and housing project on the campus for single families, parents, men or women. And their children could go to the daycare and the parents could go to school. And so they auctioned that off. They did not auction off the property. No, they did not have a viable bidder to auction off the property. So they're having another auction on June 25th. And this is their last one. And in this one, they're going to be auctioning off the property, which consists of campus proper, about 26 buildings, as well as the student center for over $12 million, but it's about $2.5 million.
So far, everything is matching up. Umar Johnson said that they auctioned off the property for $2 million. This lady confirms the auction that was getting ready to take place for $2 million. So I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. Let's continue.
CAWS would like to purchase that property so that we can begin to fix it up, and we can begin to offer educational opportunities to people in the area. We want to go beyond what St. Paul's did, and that is that we're looking to have a multi-dimensional approach to education with hands-on training. Everyone would have a mentor in fixing up the buildings. We are going to be using trades in order to, as one of our first classes. That is not only something that is good, but it's something that's needed in this area. So construction is one of the first things that we're going to look at. So with this multi-dimensional education, the people will actually learn in the classroom about construction, but they will also have an opportunity to help fix up the building.
Sister, I'm sorry to cut you off. Let me ask you a question. The school where's actually that school? Is it actually in Virginia?
Yes, it's in Virginia. It's located in Lawrenceville, Virginia, which is a rural county of Brunswick County.
Okay, so basically they closed the school down. What was the reason why they actually closed the school down?
Now, before we get into the answer of that question, for all of those that are not aware of St. Paul's and are not used to, what's going on, let me help you guys out to show you briefly
here
the St. Paul's commercial, if you will, that Umar Johnson put together when he was trying to raise donations for St. Paul's. Now, mind you, this comes during the time where he didn't even put in a bid, but he's collecting money.
My name is Dr. Umar Johnson, and I am a school psychologist and doctor of clinical psychology. In addition to that, I hold degrees in political science and education.
This is St. Paul's.
I am here at the historic St. Paul's College, this beautiful campus.
This is the St. Paul's College right here. Of course, he's going to put Frederick Douglass in it, and he's not kin to Frederick Douglass. No relation to Marcus Garvey either, but he pushes Garveyism. but he's pushing the purchase of this property for FDMG. He's asking people to, you know, send in their donations so that they can purchase this campus, in which he wind up, you know, talking real bad. So this is the video just to offer a false reality of a campus that they were trying to purchase at that time, before the purchase of FDMG. Now, I just wanted to give a context, you know, to those that don't know about the St. Paul's school scam. All right, so let's get back into this interview.
It is a little convoluted. Basically, they had every intention of staying open, but to make it short, they lost their accreditation, and they were going to go. They were going to go in with another college, St. Augustine College, and that deal fell through. So, as I understand it, the Board of Trustees decided that they would graduate the last class and close the college. And that is indeed what did occur. So now we have a beautiful historic college that has been, for all intents and purposes, closed for the last year, going on into 2 years now.
All right. So basically, in June of this year, which is June, there's going to be an auction at St. Paul's
There's going to
College.
be the second auction, right?
Okay. So there was a first auction already. And what happened with the first auction?
In the first auction, that was they had the 434 acre plus farm that was for sale. That was sold. And they auctioned off part of the college campus, which was a very small part, but a very important part, which was the single family daycare center and the apartment on that for that daycare
All right. So
center.
did you guys acquire that already, or did somebody else acquire it?
No. We put in a bid, but we did not enough money in order to be considered for the bid.
Now, when she says we put in a bid, she's not talking about Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson didn't put in a bid, but there were people that tried to work with him who did. You see, so when you hear him talk about this story of we tried to get St. Paul's College, he's telling the story of someone else, and you're listening to that story now.
All right.
So
now there's a big question now. I gotta ask this question right now, and it's Real Talk Radio without me asking a real talk question. Is this the same school? Is this the same school that my dear brother, Dr. Umar Johnson, is trying to purchase?
This is the name that is a name that I've heard recently, and as I understand it, it is the same school.
Wow.
Just so that there's no misunderstandings here, that these individuals are talking about Umar Johnson and the St. Paul's College.
All right. So that means basically that you guys and whoever else is interested is going to bid later on this month. So if you guys win the bid, you guys basically have the school, right?
That is correct. That's correct.
And if he wins, he has the school. Am I correct?
That's correct.
All right.
So why don't you guys join together? Why don't they join together and do a collaboration?
Well, that is a very good question. Dr. Boston, are you on the line also?
Here we go. I need for you guys, please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Go ahead and share the show if you haven't already. I need for you to hit that notification bell after you subscribe so that you know when I'm dropping some more of the Umar Johnson and FDMG saga. And plus, I want you to be a part of the 6,000 subscriber count when that happens. Here we go.
I'm here. Okay. We have through our advisory council, we have invited Dr. Johnson, and on our conference call, the last time we tried to get in contact with him, he was in a meeting and unable to attend, and we have not heard anything from him since.
All right, so I have also Joanne. Joanne, no, it's not Joanne right here. Let me get this properly here. I have Joan Gossier. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Almost. It's Joan and then like go see her all together. Go see her.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, sister, because I don't like to mess people's names up. I give you their respect. Can I call you Sister Joanne? Is that okay with you, ma'am? All right, hold on a second. Oh, shit, her call got dropped. I think her call got dropped. Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. I will call here at 910. Call up who you, can you introduce yourself? Tell us where you're calling from, 910-232. All right, I'm going to put you on hold because of the stuff in the background, but I'm going to punch you in each time we refer to you. All right. So, sister, someone in the chat room said to ask you to tell the real story. Now, if Dr. Johnson is trying to get this property, as my co-host, Sister Azalea from Greensole just asked, why aren't you guys trying to? I know you said you reached out to him and you have not got a response from him. And to be totally honest, because it's Real Talk Live, I did invite Dr. Johnson to come on, and he was actually willing to come on. And this actually changes a lot of things in the ballgame, because if he's trying to get the same property, and you guys are trying to get the same property, I'm a guy. I like to unite folks and folks work together. But I know there's a lot of politics I have no idea about in the back rooms that you probably don't want to put on the air.
Check this out, y'all.
For unity. So let me ask you this: is it a possibility that you guys could unite on this? Even if you guys acquire the property per se tomorrow or whenever the option is it a possibility that Dr. Johnson could also be involved in this? Sister.
Hey, for the family that is joining, this was an interview 4 years ago. The reason why I'm playing this interview, I'm saying to all the black folks who are watching and listening, if we had this interview, I didn't really get into Umar the way how people are. I knew about him. I saw the stuff. He seemed like a powerful man that he could get the job done, and I supported it.
Now, this audio comes out of Sineta's camp. This doesn't come from Sineta TV. For all of those that don't know who Sineta TV is the Vince McMahon, if you will, of the conscious community that exists on YouTube. Though Umar Johnson was introduced to everyone through Tariq Nasheed, Sineta is the one who introduced Umar Johnson here on YouTube. It was through his camp. So this audio comes out of individuals that were dealing with Sineta at that time. And so Umar knew about all of this. He kept his distance when it came to certain things.
But if we all knew about this particular interview and know the truth, we wouldn't have been supporting that school, period.
No one knew that Umar was trying to pull the okie doke. But let's continue.
Going in, and then I'm going to get the doctor,
because he was not 80
involved too. But I got Sister Joan, she's back on the line. But I'm just throwing it out there. If you guys do acquire the property, is it a possibility that Dr. Johnson could also be involved with this down the line?
I'd ask the question back. If it's not important beforehand, why would it be important after the thought? I think there are certain things that you have to do in terms of unity and spirit and trust and being responsive and having someone to simply reply back to a text, email, tweet, inbox or Facebook, etc. It's just common courtesy in developing a relationship. That's like saying, would you still marry someone who would never return your first phone call? You don't know because you haven't had a chance to sit down and have that dialogue, that face-to-face blind date. And so I would just say, as an advisor, I would question, why would you wait until after the bid and then decide it's time for unity? Why not do unity in advance?
All right. I'm actually...
As the owner of the company, I believe that Jones...
And there you go. Why wait until all the footwork is done and then you want to come and partner in? Why not partner up now? Before we get the bid going and all of that. Now, again, that's a whole 2-hour interview. And I've reviewed this audio in prior years. But it's valuable today because as we get back into the interview with Umar Johnson talking about why or what happened with St. Paul's, well, the story really makes more sense now that you've heard another side. So let's rewind it just a little bit. And now let's listen to Umar.
But if you're just a struggle stream, you're just looking for content so you can just run with some negativity, I'm not giving you no answers. With that being said, let me clarify a couple things about FDMG. The fundraising began on April the 12th of 2014 in St. Louis. Originally, we wanted to purchase the HBCU St. Paul's College in Lawrenceville, Southern Virginia. HBCU for sale, they wanted $2 million. A buddy of mine called me up and said, Doc, there's an HBCU for sale for $2 million. Of course, we hadn't even started raising money yet. So the fundraiser began. We lost. The Chinese purchased it. And I'm embarrassed that Black people let another race purchase an HBCU built by our ancestors coming out of slavery.
And see, the nose wipe is real, telling right there.
Ancestors coming out of slavery.
Because we hear there was a group of people that was calling him, texting him, emailing him, trying their best to work with him. So who's to blame? That is the question. And guess what? We have a poll in the chat right now. What was the biggest lie Umar told during the interview? So far, we've just listened to the St. Paul's portion of it. Let's get back into this audio, man.
Chinese have the St. Paul's. So we said, okay, we can't get St. Paul's. Let's keep on raising this money and let's try to just get a regular day school. So we started traveling all over the world. As I told you earlier, we almost ended up in Atlanta. The big issue with the early school search is once these property owners found out who I was, and let me be clear, most of the properties that we were interested in during our school search from 2014 to 2019 was Roman Catholic schools because they take good care of their property. I thought we were going to end up in Detroit also. Detroit had about 5 Catholic schools that we had enough money to buy. And once they
had some schools that he was interested in, and they didn't want to sell to Umar Johnson because they found out who he was. At least that's what he says. Now, I don't know, because we're about to take a look at some footage. We're going to take a look at some footage. In this footage, we're going to see Umar Johnson doing what looks like he's touring a school. I don't think he's touring a school at all. I think that he's on a property that he shouldn't be on. Somebody just took him out here, and yeah. Now, before I play this, I need to make sure you guys can hear. So again, I'm going to ask you, please put a 1 in the chat. If you can hear the audio, put a 2 in the chat if you cannot.
Peace and love, Black family. It's the Prince of Pan-Africanism, King Kong Consciousness. I'm live and direct, Southfield, Michigan, with my big brother, Cardinal. I'm outside of the Academy of Southfield. This is the school that I was trying to purchase. This is the school that is Black owned, that I was trying to purchase. Why am I here today? Because I want Detroit to know that we haven't given up on you yet. Wilmington, that is going to be our first school. That is going to be our mother campus. Shout out to the entire Black Wilmington, Delaware community. But Detroit, we have to finish our mission. We had a mission to build a school in Detroit. I want Detroit to be campus number 2. Wilmington's campus. I want Detroit to be campus number 2. And this is the school, Academy of Southfield. Okay, formerly George Washington Carver School. That's right, the George Washington Carver School.
So was the George Washington Carver School not available when they were looking for FDMG locations? I don't know. But I just wanted to make sure that we put it out there that FDMG campus number 1 still hasn't come, and he was already talking about campus number 2. he stated that, hey, when I was looking for campuses, they knew who I was and they wouldn't sell to me. That's what he said. He makes no mention about FDMG campus number 2, or they were trying to purchase the Southfield location. None of that.
There was another Catholic school at Money Earned in Mount Vernon, New York. They wanted to lease it clean. I said, we ready to lease. They called the Vatican in Rome. He told me this. He said, half the Catholic schools in America are managed directly from Rome. I did not know that. So he had to call the Vatican and ask them if it was okay to lease the school to Dr. Umar. They said no. So a big part of the delay was we couldn't get nobody who would sell us the property that we wanted, right? So we ended up in Wilmington, Delaware. We bought the school in 2019, only 5 years. All black money, no white financiers, no white bank. Purchasing a school in 5 years from the people's money from the community, I see no problem with that. So we get to school in February 7th of 2019.
It's interesting that he says he sees no problem with raising money from the community. I want y'all to hear this real quick.
From the people's money from the community, I see no problem with that.
People's money from the community, I see no problems with that. Now, there's a lot of people that are aware that Umar Johnson is allegedly involved in litigation with 40 donors who stated that they donated to Umar Johnson and they have yet to receive anything as far as FDMG is concerned, and they want to know what's going on with their money. Well, there has been a lot of talk on YouTube about this, and there is a strong belief that 40 donors are about to either get reimbursed because FDMG is not here, or Umar will have to pay some legal fees and attorney's fees. I want to offer up another possibility, and that possibility being that the 40 donors will have to prove that Umar Johnson isn't going to bring forth FDMG. And I want my good friend, Empowered Esquire, Miss Felicia Pearson, whom we interviewed on this channel some years back. She did an excellent breakdown of the litigation that Umar Johnson was caught up in at that time. And I released a 4-part series of her breaking down some of those lawsuits. In releasing those videos, I found a portion where she spoke to if anyone decided to take Umar Johnson to court based on him raising donations and FDMG is not coming into fruition, what would that possibly look like? Well, in 2026, we hear about a story such as, hey, there's some people taking Umar Johnson to court. But let's get a legal perspective of what these 40 donors could potentially face.
It brings more depth and shines more light into what's going on when it comes to these type of videos. What I mean, talking about Umar Johnson and what he's doing to the Black community. Here we go.
Well, that depends, right? So as I was saying, a donation and an investment, they function differently. There is a higher fiduciary duty with investments, but there is still a certain level of duty with donations. Don't think that just because you donate to someone, you've thrown your money in the trash can, right? Legally, if someone is purporting as a 501c3, so for example, Umar Johnson says that FDMG is a 501c3, that is IRS filing. He does have some level of duty.
Can you say what you just said again, please?
Status. If he is soliciting donations through that IRS status, he does have some level of duty.
All right, all right, all right. I see that folks are just tuning in and they may have missed what you said, Miss Pearson. So if you don't mind, if you could
through
man, he does.
But here is the problem.
Okay.
You need substantiation.
That's what we face every time we deal with this bum ass dude.
Now, excuse the language, but it's very important that you pay attention to what she stated. You need substantiation. So the 40 donors that are taking Umar Johnson to court in a class action lawsuit, allegedly, they need substantiation. Let's continue to listening to Empowered Esquire.
This is why we constantly make videos. That's why I rewind that too. We need substantiation.
So when you're an investor who's investing in a corporation, you get what? Quarterly reports. You get marketing stats. You get all these things that you could use as an argument to say, hey, StreamYard, you're not using my investment correctly, right? But FDMG, because it's not a corporation and because it's not an investment, it's a different situation. So these, I guess you could call them donors, right? Yeah, we'll say donors. These donors aren't getting marketing reports. They aren't getting any type of information, right? And it's not necessarily that they're entitled to it because they're not investors, they're donors. There is a lower level of donor reporting than there is investor reporting. Now, with that being said, if someone was privy to information, which they could use to actually directly substantiate that Umar Johnson did not use these funds for FDMG, then yes, absolutely, donors could take into court responsible.
So what
now? I hope you guys understood what she stated. They have to prove. Substantiation really matters. And this in the 40 donor lawsuit, it really matters. They have to prove that Umar is not using the money towards FDMG. They got to prove that. The problem that they face is there's videos all over YouTube of Umar doing things up at the property they call FDMG. And shout out to Josephine coming into the chat. Welcome to the show. Anyone that is just coming in, we are breaking down different things when it comes to an interview Umar Johnson had on a podcast. And we are getting into the fact that Umar Johnson thought it was a good idea to raise money from the people. Well, a few years ago, we had a lawyer come onto the panel to explain some things. And she also did a live stream of her own. And we are looking at that live stream. And she broke down, if you are a donor, you are really not privy to a lot of information. You are privy to some information. But if you choose to take Umar Johnson to court because you have donated, you would have to prove the donations that you sent were used in other ways. That's what you would have to do. So if these 40 donors cannot prove that Umar Johnson is not going to bring FDMG into fruition, it sounds like it doesn't matter how long it's going to take. They have to prove that the money they donated was not used towards that cause. If they can't do it, sounds like 40 donors are going to be upset. That's why Umar Johnson stated in this interview it was a good idea to get money from the community. Shout out to Gemini Night Out. Now, I want to make it known there is a winter storm that we are in the middle of. So if the stream just drops, just know that's the reason. Man, oh man, it's so many people that is without power tonight, and this is supposed to be one of the coldest nights of the year. So praying for those people, but I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there. If the stream drops, that's why. But let me run back what Umar Johnson said as far as raising money and why it was a good idea to get it from the people.
We bought the school in 2019, only 5 years. All black money, no white financiers, no white bank. Purchasing a school in 5 years from the people's money from the community, I see no problem with that. So
with the people's money from the community, I see no problem with that. And it was proven from Empower Esquire TV as to why.
We get the school in February 7th of 2019, and we've been renovating it since. February 7th of 2026 will be 7 years. This past Saturday, we completed all the renovations on the school.
So this video is 7 days old. So that means last Sunday, last Saturday before last. Yeah, I'm not talking about yesterday. I hate that. So Umar is saying that, hey, FDMG is fully renovated as, let's just say, a week ago. But that's interesting because there's so many other times where Umar Johnson stated that FDMG right here in this video the renovations are complete. Let's listen.
My DC, my Philly, my Jersey, my Boston donors, my Kentucky donors, my Tennessee donors, my Minnesota donors, my Illinois donors, my Michigan, where my Ohio donors at right now, brothers and sisters. I am proud and I am pleased to announce to you at this moment, Black August 11th of 2023. I'm live, King. Black August 11th of 2023. I'm on a live stream, King. I'm here for a minute, though. Swing back around. Okay, I got you. That we have finally completed all of the renovations for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Pan-African Excellence. I'm going to say it again. Today, August 11th, 2023, Black August, we have completed all of the renovations for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Pan-African Excellence. I got to say it one more time. Okay. I got to say it one more time because it feels good to finally say that after everything we've been through the past 4 years and 6 months. It feels good to finally say that after everything we've been through the past 9 years and 6 months since we began the fundraiser. I am proud to report to all my African family around the world, because this is a Pan-African school, a Pan-African mission. And this school came together by all members of the African family around the world. So Africa is celebrating with us. The Caribbean is celebrating with us. Our European African brothers and sisters, the ones in Asia, in Australia, Canada, and the South Pacific, my Brazilian Africans, my Honduran Africans. We got Cuban Africans and Rican Africans who are celebrating with us
right now.
We did it, brothers and sisters.
They did it.
They finished the HVAC today. We did it, brothers and sisters.
Today.
We did it, brothers and sisters. Electric is done. HVAC is done. Plumbing is done. Sprinklers is done. Fire is done. Burglar is done. All systems are done. So what do we got to do next? Listen up, brothers and sisters. Oh, I can't wait to get to Harlem, New York on Thursday, August the 17th.
The love. It's amazing, because again, Umar stated that last Saturday before last, a week ago, whoever and however you want to put it, he said it while wearing this dashiki outfit right now. He said it. So which one is it? Was it August of 2023 or is it January of 2026? 3 years later. So I need for you guys to make sure you answer the poll, please. Which one is it? What was the biggest lie Umar told during this interview? And it's based off of the receipts that we are witnessing that I'm dropping. You have not hit that like button. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Hit the like button because you tuned into the Receipt Show with your boy, KKC.
Catch her on a beat.
I keep telling you, consciousness over coochie, politics over punani. I keep telling y'all, consciousness comes before coochie. Coochie, punani, coochie, punani. Consciousness over 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 coochie.
When the truth gets twisted, the streets listen.
When you're trying to build something for black children, you realize quickly that everybody says they want progress until it's time to do the work. They'll cheer the idea. They'll paint the words on walls, hang them from ceilings, carve them into floors. But doing the work, that takes heart.
Almost there. Copy. We're bringing the frame boards inside.
Level looks good up here. Gonna set the screws next.
All right, watch the wires above you. Place for the planks is clear. Room's colder than the hallway, though.
Feels like the whole building's holding its breath.
Let's get it done before it exhales.
The Receipt Show returns.
We get to school on February 7th of 2019, and we've been renovating it since. February 7th of 2026 will be 7 years. This past Saturday, we completed all the renovations on the school. Why were we delayed so much? And I'm not even going to call it delay, because I believe in divine timing. If it didn't happen yet, it wasn't supposed to. You feel me? That's my position. But if we want to look at this practically, the reason it took us 7 years to do the renovations is because the black contractors, I'm going to say it, the black contractors who we depended on a single black contractor.
Now, the problem see, that's where we get the thumbnail. Him pointing. The problem is that it's so many videos. We would be here all night, the rest of the week, if we sat here and went through the videos of the different contractors Umar Johnson had. The most famous contractor that we never heard from again was Brother Jose. Now, shout out to the CCC and the Cookie Crush chat, is because Umar did, or excuse me, Lyndon Honor did a parody with Umar Johnson about Brother Jose. And so a lot of people don't know who that is.
You to understand, overstand, understand. I need you to understand, overstand, and understand. Brother Jose.
Sí, señor, ¿cómo está?
Peace and love, good brother. You got any time to slide by today?
Sí, tengo 5 minutos.
As soon as possible. How soon can you get here?
15 minutos, 20.
601 East 17th Street.
Brother Jose. Brother Jose. We ain't never heard. So the black contractors ran off with the money, but Brother Jose and them gave Umar Johnson a call.
I need you to understand, overstand, understand. I need you to understand, overstand, and understand. Brother Jose.
Sí, señor, ¿cómo está?
This video is about the HVAC. It can be argued that in the video we watched in 2023, Umar Johnson said the HVAC was finally installed. So therefore, Brother Jose and them should have had FDMG open. Even before then, there's when he got the do you remember when he got the blueprints? He got the blueprints from, I think he went to the city. He got those for the contractors, and I want to say he paid like 20,000, 25,000. These are times that have to be, we got to look at this. Let's see if I can find that video real quick. Umar Johnson and the contractors. And he went and got the blueprints. Let's see. Blueprints. Oh, there you go. Look at this. I want to say he spent like 20,000. You know. This was in 2020.
Peace and love, Black family. King Kong consciousness. Internet. How's everybody doing? Good news and bad news. Good news is we got the drones. All right. We got the drones. $20,000 worth of electric, mechanical, general contractor. Shout out to the donors.
So he had to get,
$20,000.
he spent $20,000 of the people's money so that they could get the blueprints, so that they could find out what work needed to be done, so he could hire the black contractors who wind up running off. Now, if you've been following the channel, then you know that the black contractors or the ex FDMG employee, if you will, was the only person who did work. And we have videos of when they were doing work inside of FDMG for real. The only work that really we can say was done, I don't know if the people that own the Easy sign, the people that put up the FDMG sign, if they were black owned. The permits were pulled for them. Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, that was a white institution. They have a permit that was pulled. The city came out and did a lot of work on the roof. There's information for that. There were a group of black guys who came and offered their free services and power washed the front of the school, or those buildings, I should say. We have video of Brother Zach, Umar Johnson's bodyguard. He's the one that put together the fence that's in the back of FDMG. He also welded the blacked out plate that's over the doors, the front doors of FDMG, and you guys see that in the opening of the the receipt show when I played the video of FDMG. He's welding. He did a lot of the welding work around FDMG, and again, he does security for Umar Johnson. Let's see. The individuals that installed the toilets, and the what else? The automatic sinks or faucets. Those individuals, there's permits for that. So all of these people that really did put in services, he's saying that didn't happen. That people ran off with money. Contractors, if you will, different contractors. And when we take a look at different contractors, it would be he wanted to get your cousins and your uncle and them to come and do all of the work. Just like he got Brother Zach, and he got the brothers that power wash the front of the school. He wanted the people that came to paint. He wanted everything to be done by way of your cousin and your grandmama now. But some things he could not get accomplished that way. He had to bring in professionals. So for those individuals that came out and really did do work and they could not get the job done, he's talking about, well, I paid them since they did not complete the work. Well, they ran off with the money. That's how he's positioning all of this. Now, mind you, we have legal documentation where an ex-FDMG employee took him to court and won because of work performed that he did not pay him for. So yes, I'm pretty sure that people that he did get to come out, a lot of them may have had their own diagnostic fees, if you will. I take a look at it to see if I can do something, but I'm going to charge you this amount. I looked at it. I tried. I can't do it. You're going to have to call somebody. You're going to have to call a professional. Well, you should give me a refund. Why? I did work. That's what he's talking about. But, when you are on these platforms, Videos can get edited. You can say whatever you say and get away with it, if you will. Let's go back to the interview where he's talking about this, though, blaming the black contractors for not being able to do the professional work that needed to be done.
Quote me on black painter, black floor person, not one black contractor who we paid to do the work ever finished what they got paid to do. Not one. So can't nobody say shit to me about how long it took us to get this job done. It took us long because of ninjas in the community who don't have integrity and work ethic.
Now, do you believe you need any more help?
Well, as I said, we finished. The renovations are done. We got to dot a couple I's, cross a couple T's, and then we have to go for inspection with the city of Wilmington, Delaware.
What does that mean? We gotta cross a couple of T's and dot a couple of I's, or you gotta cross a double of I's and you got a double of T's and you got a blah blah. I don't even understand what I'm talking about right now. Like, I was sent something today. You know, when you say we crossing the finish line, we tiptoeing around the finish line, we doing the hokey pokey around the finish line. This was sent to me today. Alpha Male Academy, 8/21/21. This was when FDMG was about to have the block party. You got the white person back here saying you should just give up, and then you got the black person right here saying don't listen to the haters. And he's dragging a dilapidated building across the finish line. And so in reality, you know, we can't drag buildings. And that's why they haven't crossed the finish line, because you can't drag a building. I want you to go outside right now and tie a rope around your body and hook it to your place of living and see if you can pull it. And see if you cross the finish. See if you will cross the finish line. That's what you do. Because this is stupid. I'm just gonna be real. This makes no sense. I don't know what cross T's and dot I's mean. If the renovations are done, the renovations are done. You apply for the certificate of occupancy. You know, maybe we have to make sure we get insurances set in place. You know, whatever the case may be, speak to that. This vagueness that you give, it has been is to the point to where people should really start asking a serious question. What do you mean by that? What is that? What is dotting I's and crossing T's? Because you said that you don't need no help, but is dotting the I gonna take you another 3 years? Is crossing the T going to take another 6? Because look how long it took you to get here. And then we just watched on film you saying back in 2023, 3 years ago, that renovations were done. 3 years later, you're saying renovations were done a week ago. So yes, someone should ask the question, what does this mean? How do we help you dot the I? What does that mean? What we need to do? Because this fall, FDMG should be opening. That's what should be happening. Yeah, there's nothing done. You see, if if Umar Johnson just finished doing renovations, they were just completed, then why did Umar go live? Okay, all right, fair. I'll give you grace. I will table my question. My question is, why didn't Umar Johnson go live inside of FDMG when he went live recently at FDMG? He was outside. Okay, the reason why I'm going to give grace is because he said on February 7th, there's going to be an announcement. So if, and I don't mind retracting my statement, maybe he finally pulled the building across the finish line, and maybe you really can pull buildings across finish lines. And if that's the case, then they really finished the renovations. And the reason why he did not go live inside of FDMG is because February 7th, he's going to go live inside of FDMG to show us everything is actually complete. And yes, FDMG is coming and they're going to apply for the certificate of occupancy. That's what it has to happen. That has to happen.
We don't know what's going to happen with that because they never thought we would finish. Now that we're done, we now got to fight them. Because remember, they tried to sell the school behind our backs this past summer. We had a vacant property registration fee bill that we should not have even owed because as a nonprofit, you're supposed to get a 4-year waiver. They didn't give it to us, right? I called them up to see if we can come to some type of an agreement. If you're not going to give it to us, say that.
Dude, you did not have the nonprofit he did not have the nonprofit status. I have the videos that I put out on the channel where he was talking about they got the tax bill. They need to raise $600,000. He needed to raise $300,000 for one building, $300,000 for the other building. I have all of those. That's why I put out the old videos, because it speaks to these interviews he's doing today. For all of the people that wanted to know, why are the videos that you are putting out on your channel of old videos? Because they speak to what is going on today. He was walking on the beach when he said he needed $300,000 because of tax bills for not having nonprofit status.
Let us pay. The woman in the office told me she would call me back on 3 different occasions. Never called me back. I emailed on 3 or 4 other occasions. Never responded to my email. All of a sudden, I get a phone call. Dr. Umar, the struggle stream is on YouTube talking about your school is about to be auctioned in 21 days.
Is it just like you never responded to the people that were trying to purchase St. Paul's College and they wanted to partner with you? Is it just like you never responded to the text messages or emails? Is it the same way? Because I'm making the same face.
I said, this can't be true. I just checked the mail. We ain't got no mail saying they try to sell our school. All our bills is paid up except that vacant property registration fee. So I called one of my supporters in Wilmington. I said, can you go past the school?
That's another lie. And the reason why I'm glad that that's the case, because one thing I showed on a consistent basis, and the reason why I don't show it anymore is because they no longer update the information online. And what I mean by the information, we used to look at the bills all the time on this channel. And I would always say, Umar doesn't pay the bills. For some reason, Umar Johnson just will not pay the bills. I would pull up all the bills that he would receive that were current bills. And the bill that was the most famous was the vacant property bill for the accumulated vacant property fees for over the years. And at that time, even to today's date of January 25th, 2026, understand this is no longer accurate information. But we would always report $31,656.50. And that's just on the small building, not the one that's rotting across the street, the small building. We would always report on this on a consistent basis. Umar Johnson watched this channel. He knew. We would pull up the actual utility bills that they were sending to the property. I can pull up one right now. So people will be like, hey, Umar or KKC is not telling the truth. He's just making up. He's making up things. I'm like, no, I'm not. Here, these are past bills right here. Bill details. This is a bill from June 12, 2025. View bill image. Just so you know I'm not lying. This is a bill. This is a real bill. It was due July 3rd, 2025 in the amount of $2,615.32. It was sent from the city of Wilmington, Delaware. It was sent to 611 East 17th Street in the name of Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey, RBG International Leadership Academy, Inc. It was sent to P.O. Box 9634, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. This is information that's important because it goes back to what Umar asked. Where do we get our information from? Where we get it from the city. In this instance, we're not making it up. So you say the bills were on time, but no. Look at this. Late fee applied after due date of July 3rd, 2025. There were past due fees. You had interest fees of $38.79. The balance forward was $2,174.93. Like the bills was piling up, dude. I'm so confused. But the reason why it's important that you go back and visit the information, because again, it speaks to these current interviews. Bills were not paid. So that was a lie.
Taking property registration fee. And see if there's another set of paperwork on the other door, because remember, we own both schools, by the way, not one, two. We own 4 buildings. We own the block. Name somebody else in the Black conscious community who bought a whole block. Nobody. I'm the only one. So anyway, the struggle streamer stole one set of paperwork. My supporter got the other set of paperwork. She took a picture of it and sends it to me, right? Guess what? If they would have took both sets of paperwork, if the haters would have took both sets of paperwork, I would have never knew that our property was going up for sale, because the city of Wilmington did not communicate that to us. They would have sold that school behind our backs and we would have never even known. So when I tell you getting ready for this inspection, we might have to get ready for war. We might have to get ready for war.
All that completes itself how it should, for sure.
It should. Either way, it don't matter. Yeah. My ancestor Frederick Douglass told us more than 100 years ago. No struggle, no problem. March on the city. That's exactly what we do. If I got to.
Amazing. That's a lot. That is a lot. Shout out to Sasha. Man. It's, again, there's a lot that's supposed to be happening with this whole FDMG situation. we really don't know, you know, what's going to transpire. Now, I know a lot of you all want to get back into, you know, the St. Paul's audio, and I don't mind doing that because we just broke down this entire live stream or interview, if you will, receipt for receipt. And it's sad that if people don't do their homework, they would really believe Umar is telling the truth. Now, let's get back into this video, or excuse me, this audio interview with the individuals. This is from the individuals that work with Umar or tried to work with Umar obtaining St. Paul's College.
We wouldn't have been supporting that school, period.
If you can hear the audio, put a 1 in the chat, please.
Because he was not able to, and he didn't show anything within himself to raise that money.
Involved too, but I got Sister Joan, she's back on the line. But I'm just throwing it out there. If you guys do acquire the property, is it a possibility that Dr. Johnson could also be involved with this down the line?
I would have to I'd ask the question back. If it's not important beforehand, why would it be important after?
Should I say it's rebound in the house?
I think there are certain things that you have to do in terms of unity and spirit and trust and being responsive and having someone to simply reply back to a text, email, tweet, inbox or Facebook, etc. It's just common courtesy in developing a relationship. That's right.
Now, I want y'all to understand something. This interview was uploaded 7 years ago. This interview was uploaded 7 years ago, but check this out. When it was uploaded 7 years ago, it was an interview that was done 4 years ago. That is crazy. This video comes from 2019, or audio, because it's not a video, but it does come from 2019. That is wild to me. So if Umar Johnson took up a donation in 2014, this audio comes a year later. So ask Black Anonymous, if Black Anonymous was still in the chat, Black Anonymous would be able to tell you if the deal with St. Paul's was already like blown up. The whole purchase, trying to purchase St. Paul's and all that had already happened. And he was still trying to raise money. Because that's what it seems like, according to the receipts. Now, I could be misunderstanding them, but that's crazy.
Like saying, would you still marry someone who would never return your first phone call? You don't know. You haven't had a chance to sit down and have that dialogue, that face-to-face blind date. And so I would just say, as an advisor, I would question why would you wait until after the bid deal, and how our board of directors have felt regarding this. So I think that's the best we can.
Board of directors is a scary word. That's scary. When you talking about Umar Johnson, FDMG, board of directors, oh man, that's heavy.
to your question is we simply do not know because we've not had any type of conversations. We do not know this gentleman. We've not really spoken to him, although we've reached out, and we consider that to be very important. It is generally for our company, and we always use collaborative efforts. We do that with everyone within the area that we work with and outside of the area, as their mission follows our mission. And so we do believe in collaboration, but like Don said, we have to talk first.
Yeah, definitely. I totally. She asked a brilliant question, man. I tell you, Sister Joan, there's a reason why I can't pronounce your last name because you're definitely way up on my head as far as intelligence is concerned. But I give it up to the women all the time, man. They're definitely smarter than our species. But I'm going to get the doctor, a male perspective on this. Brother Dr. Terry. I forgot your last name at this point. Go ahead, my brother. You're on the air.
Yes, Dr. Terry Jackson. Just to reiterate what Joan said and what Cheryl said, when we first began the conversation about purchasing the school, we found out that Dr. Johnson was interested. And so based on some personal friends, we reached out, we emailed, we called. He couldn't make the meeting. We are two groups who want the same property, that the possibility to collaborate would be great. However, due to the lack of communication between the two groups, due to the fact that the property is due to be auctioned off very shortly, we decided to move forward. Now, what I will say is, not only does Dell Computer sell laptops, but HP Hewlett Packard also sells laptops. So sometimes there are two groups, similar visions, different organizations are going after the same property. Iron sharpens iron. So what we have to do is understand, as a group of people, we understand unity. And I will say this: when we look at the word unity, we have to understand that Africa itself was never unified.
Yes, sir.
We have about that. We have diverse thoughts, and so we have.
So if you're hearing this gentleman say that we need to be unified, and then you hear Umar Johnson on the podcast interview saying that it's a shame that we allowed St. Paul's College to be bought by the Chinese, who's to blame? That is the question. So make sure you answer that question in the comment section. Who's to blame?
Have a group of people in our organization who look to move forward. If Dr. Umar is willing to have a conversation with us, at that time, we would have to analyze where he's at, where we're at, if the visions are synergistic and the possibility of moving forward could become a reality. But it calls for conversation, it calls for dialogue, it actually calls for negotiation because, he has a view, we have a view, and we have to understand how we as two organizations could potentially come together and do what's best for all versus what's best for us or
Brother Terry Jackson. You know what? Let me ask. Okay. All right, Sister Cheryl. Let me ask you this. As a matter of fact, let me ask Sister Betty Boston this real quickly. Is it possible? All right. Let me ask you this. What are your goals as far as the property is concerned in the schooling? Is it similar to what Dr. Johnson is trying to do, based on what you have heard?
Actually, it isn't. Okay. We're looking to serve to the grade in educational pursuits as well as providing, for example, a STEM academy for the youth of the area and for those people who will be coming from across the country in order to get those skills to take back to their community. We have a very heavy emphasis on people who are 45 and older. The Employment Commission has told us that is a group of people who are suffering the most in terms of unemployment. We've already begun negotiations with those organizations that have the funds that will do training and allow people to get a terminal credential that they can take anywhere in the country. I don't have any problems with what he said he wants to do in terms of the trading.
That's where their visions didn't align. And because of that, Umar wouldn't have been able to work with them people. They were really changing lives, man. They really had a movement going. And Umar's vision wasn't, it sounds good when you hear it, but when you put it down on paper, it don't exist. And you had people that were serious and wanted to partner with him, and nah. Board of directors, communication, answering back to emails and text messages and all that, it matters to people. It really does. So I hope this serves a lesson to those that, yes, FDMG is getting ready to cross the finish line. We should find out more about it here in a few more days. February the 7th, Umar Johnson is going to let the people know about FDMG and crossing the finish line. All renovations are complete, y'all. For the 45th time, all renovations are complete. That means the grand opening of the first school in American history built by the African diaspora will be opening soon. And if you did not send a donation, or if your name is found in the Book of Negroes, you will not be able to attend the grand opening. If you're here on this show in the pull-up team chat, you most definitely cannot be a part of the grand opening. That's crazy. Listen, I just need for y'all to hit that like button on the way out the door. This is a mess. It's always going to be a mess, and I don't see it getting any better. Like every time I think the FDMG saga is about to, fizzle out, something else happens. And more every time, the receipts that were dropped years ago matter, especially with Umar purging some of the older receipts, trying to bury them under these new interviews he's doing. It is so important that I continue to go in the archive and pull out what we have so the people would know that Umar Johnson blames black contractors for FDMG delays. But hey, I say he lied. And you guys sound off on the poll. What was the biggest lie Umar told during the interview? Again, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We on the road to 6,000 subscribers, and I need for you to be a part of that. And if you want to help keep the lights on, and I hope and pray the lights don't go off tonight because of this ice. It's not snow, it's an ice storm. If you want to send any donations, $, IMDKKC. But if it's daytime where you are, make sure you have a great rest of the day on purpose. But if it's nighttime, stay cool like the other side of the pillow. But for the night, you want to stay toasty and warm under those covers. But this was the Receipt Show. I'm your host, KKC, and I will catch you guys next time. I'm out of here. Peace.
When the truth gets twisted, the streets listen.
When you're trying to build something for black children, you realize quickly that everybody says they want progress until it's time to do the work. They'll cheer the idea. They'll paint the words on walls, hang them from ceilings, carve them into floors. But doing the work, that takes heart.
All's almost there. Copy. We're bringing the frame boards inside.
Level looks good up here. Gonna set the screws next.
All right, watch the wires above you. Place for the planks is clear. Room's colder than the hallway, though.
Feels like the whole building's holding its breath.
Let's get it done before it exhales.
The receipt show returns.